Hey YouTube, so probably over a year ago, I did a I did a video called Pink Floyd Discography Review. Uh and you know what, I thought today I'd do a new version of that. Uh yeah, my opinion hasn't changed too much, but a little bit maybe, and besides, you know, that's an old video. You want to see my old videos. What do you want to watch my old videos for? So, yeah, I'm doing the Pink Floyd primer. See, I didn't even know what a primer was then, so I just said discography review. It's called a primer. Okay. Uh, so, let's get started. So, Piper at the Gates of Dawn, like, possibly my top 5 albums of all time. This and Court of the Crimson King are the two best debut albums, definitely. But yeah, I love this album. All 11 of the songs are some of my favorite songs ever. Yeah, it gets 5 billion stars out of 5. Like, I can't get enough of this album. Can't say good enough things about it. I don't need to say that my favorite song. I don't know. You know, Astronomy Domini is like one of the best songs ever created, and I love Flaming. I really love Take Up Thy Stethoscope and Walk. It's one of my favorite Roger Waters songs, actually. Interstellar Overdrive. I think Chapter 24 is a very underrated song. Yeah, when people talk about what the best psychedelic album is, it's not Velvet Underground and Nico, it's not Are You Experienced, it's not The Doors' first album, it's none of that. It's this is the best. Forget what everyone else says, this is the best. You can't, these 4 guys are the greatest psychedelic band ever, and Sid is the king of psychedelic music. Then there's A Saucer Full of Secrets, another one of my favorite albums ever. You know, I liked them a lot in the early days when they were a bit more innocent and naive. I mean, all these songs are pretty much all my favorites. Set the Controls might even be my favorite Roger Waters song, I don't know. Yeah, I like the early stuff the best. Yeah, all these songs are some of my favorite. This scores 5 billion out of 5. Can't say anything bad about it. Yeah, I don't know if I like it better than Piper or not. I always change my opinions. Here's more. Their first movie soundtrack. In case you don't remember what's on there. Yeah, I really like this. It's really good, especially for a soundtrack. I sound like they had a good time on some of the songs, like the Nile song, you know, Ibizabar. There's some great songs on here. I really love Crying Song. Green is the color, Cymbeline. I mean, it has a couple of, like, Spanish Piece is kind of one of their worst songs. I mean, it has good guitar playing, but I mean, you gotta be, maybe that horribly exaggerated accent Gilmore did in it was funny the first time, but but it's alright. Yeah, I kind of have a soft spot for this. I mean, I wouldn't give it 5. I'd probably give it 4 out of 5. Let's say 4. So I still really like it. Oh, here's a really good one. Oh yeah. Oops. Oh yeah, this is my German Queen the Game record I just got. Put that somewhere else. It was about to fall. Here's Umaguma or Umaguma, however you want to say it. I always say Umaguma. Yeah, another one of my favorite albums ever. Yeah, I'm being serious. I mean, the live album that's on here is possibly my favorite live album ever. I mean, Astronomy Dominate, Careful at Axe Eugene, Set the Control, Saucer Full of Secrets. I mean, these are just excellent performances. You can't beat them. And the version of Interstellar Overdrive that I wouldn't have minded if they included that as a bonus track on the live disc on the CD version, because that's a really good version. But yeah, that's killer. And the studio album, I just love how you see what they can do together as a band on the live album, and on the studio album, see what they can do individually. You get Richard Wright's Sisyphus, which is awesome. Part 1, you get these big chords that lead into Part 2, him playing the piano, which is really nice. Part 3 is all crazy and has all kinds of sped up voice sounds. Part 4, really nice and calming. Really love that part. And then it gets all loud. Yeah, I really love that. Grantchester Meadows is awesome. Several species of small prairie animals get together in a cave and grooving with a pig. I love that. One of my favorites. And you get Gilmore's The Narrow Way. Oh yeah, the last 2 songs are Roger Waters, by the way. Gilmore's The Narrow Way. I might sound like a horrible person when I say this, but this, in my opinion, this happens to be his best song he ever wrote, and it's his first song. So there you go. I might sound kind of terrible for saying that, but I think it's the best song he ever wrote by himself. That's solely credited to him, because he didn't write much. He didn't write very much songs by himself, but this is excellent. Really like that. And the Grand Vizier's Garden Party by Nick Mason. Love that too. This gets 500 billion out of 5. I listen to that album religiously in the dark at night. It's like a religious ritual for me. Then you get Adam Hartmuther, 1970. Yeah, this one's amazing. It's one of my favorites. I lost my train of thought for a second, but yeah, that side 1's awesome. That big, you know what I'm talking about, the big orchestra song. If, Summer 68, Fat Old Son, 3 great songs, and I love Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast. Again, this is one of my favorite albums too. Yeah, 500 million out of 5. Great stuff. And then you get to where they were becoming more of a sterile band, but not quite sterile yet. They still had some charm left. Metal. This is some people's favorite, but I mean, I like all their last albums better, not counting More, of course, but I mean, I like but let's face it, if One of These Days and Echoes weren't on it, it'd really be nothing. The only reason this album gets so much hype is because of those 2 songs. Let's face it, I mean, no one really cares about Pillow of Winds. Some people might like Fearless. No one likes Saint-Tropez and Seamus. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I mean, I love One of These Days. It's one of my favorite songs. Pillow of Winds is nice. Fearless is nice. San Tropez is okay. Seamus kind of grates on me. It's kind of annoying. Might be the worst Pink Floyd song with lyrics, that not counting, well, I'll get to that later. Echoes is amazing, arguably the best song, but not the best album, I don't think. But it's still really good, I would say. Yeah, I'd say I give it 4, but more got 4, and it doesn't. I'm just, trust me. I rank this better. I rank this higher than more. It just happened to get the same star rating. I'm just kind of biased towards some albums, but yeah, this is a good album. I just bring all the CDs out like this. Then you get Scared by Clouds. Another soundtrack. This one's pretty good. Scared by Clouds, When You're In, Burning Bridges. I love Gilmore and Wright songs. Gold, it's in the kind of generic rock song. What's Other Deal, kind of a hippie, dippy song. Mudman's cool, Childhood's End, pretty good. Free 4 is good, and I love Stay. I love Richard Wright. Absolutely Curtains is cool. I'd probably give this a 4 out of 5. Not bad. Then you get this. I do believe this is their best album, but it's not my favorite. But I do believe it's the best. It's the most complete album they did. Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah, overall, this one's the one, I guess. But it's not really my favorite. You know what's on it. I mean, I'm kind of tired of a couple, like Money's really overplayed, but it's still a good song, but played out and it goes on a bit. Great Gig in the Sky, again, great song, but it's kind of an I get it song. Like, okay, I get it. Oh yeah, I get it. I get it. It's a beautiful song with a girl singing. I get it. My favorite songs are Brain Damage and Eclipse, the two songs Roger Waters sing. Those are great songs. Those are some of my favorites. Yeah. Oh yeah, rating. I'll give it 5. It deserves 5. Wish You Were Here. Another really. I mean, hey, Shine On You Crazy Diamond. You know. What else do you need? Shine On You Crazy Diamond, I think, is the best song. The best song since Echoes. You know, Welcome to Machine, Have a Cigar, Wish You. I'm still gonna give this a 5-star, but I kind of wish on Have a Cigar they would have stuck with the version that Gilmore and Waters sang on together. I like that one. And for Wish You Were Here, I wish they would have kept the violin solo. But, you know, I'm still going to give it 5. It deserves 5. Animals. See, at this point, they're a sterile band. Not much life in them, really. Not like in the old days. But, you know, still good music. See, I like them best when they didn't know what they were doing, really. You know what's on this one. Dogs, Pigs, Sheep, Pigs on the Wing. I'll give this one 5. It's really good. You know, it's relevant today. Yeah, it's a classic album. You get The Wall. Yeah, for some time I really liked The Wall. It was one of my favorite albums, but now I don't really listen to it much. You know, it's kind of like, okay, I get it. I get it, you know. Uh, I bet a lot would say this is the ultimate double concept album, or that tells a story. Yeah, there's this and The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, but by Genesis, but for you with tiny little brains that can't comprehend Genesis, then this is the one that you'd like better. Because some tiny brains can't handle Genesis. I can. Yeah, I don't think it's an ultimate Pink Floyd album. Some idiots actually think that, but it's really not. I mean, I like In the Flesh, Thin Ice, Another Brick in the Wall. Part 1 is probably my favorite. Yeah, it is my favorite part. Happiest Days of Our Lives, Another Brick in the Wall. Part 2. See, they really tried to be commercial on that song, and they succeeded. I mean, it's okay to have a hit, but I mean, a lot of this doesn't sound like Pink Floyd to me. A lot of it sounds poppy and commercial. As Comfortably Numb and Hey You. I like Run Like Hell, Waiting for the Worms. That's not really a Pink Floyd album to me, really. It's mainly Roger Waters and some of Gilmour's input. Really none of Ryder Mason's input at all. Yeah, this, my opinion, I don't know what I would give it. I mean, it deserves 5 stars, but it's probably a 4. I'll give it 4, but it's really a 5-star album. But then you get the final cut. I'm really starting to like this album. I find myself listening to this more than a lot of the big ones, because I kind of, I've listened to them enough times, and I like this one. It's a little iffy in places, but I think it's a good listening experience. Two Suns in the Sunset's one of my favorites. Yeah, I really like this. It's not really perfect. It's almost perfect. I think I would give it a Richard Wright's not on it. That's kind of a downer. Yeah, I'll give it 4. Okay, I'll give it 4. I find myself listening to it a lot more than the big ones. So yeah, that was the final cut, and oh, I almost touched it. I can't touch that with my bare fingers. Ugh. Oh no. Oh, fine, I'll touch it. God. Do I really have to talk about this again? This is... I'm sorry, but I just can't stand this album. It's terrible. It's a David Gilmour solo album, and I guess for a David Gilmour album, it's okay, but for a Pink Floyd album, it just don't work for me. It doesn't work for me. I mean, for Pink Floyd standards, these songs are terrible. Signs of Life is a ripoff of every other Pink Floyd album opening. Learning to Fly is a poppy commercial song. It's okay, but not a good Pink Floyd song. Oh, Dogs of War, total shitfest. One Slip, I'll give One Slip a pass because Tony Levin from King Crimson plays the bass on it. And I love Tony Levin's bass playing. He's one of my favorite bass players. Oh, I really hate On the Turning Away. I can't stand that song. Really bad. Oh, and by the way, Dogs of War sounds like, well, I don't think Gilmour wrote the lyrics to it. He said to the lyric writer, "Oh, how about you try to write a political song like Roger Waters? Be like Roger Waters, so it's like he never left the band." Yeah, that failed, didn't it? On the Turning Away. Oh, yeah, I really can't stand On the Turning Away. Really bad. Sounds like a cheesy song you'd hear on one of those charity commercials or something. One of those cheesy commercials they play on the Super Bowl if you live in America. Yeah, awful. Can't stand it. It might be my bottom. Probably my bottom 5. Pretty much my bottom 10 Pink Floyd songs are all from this album. I can't stand this album. Yet Another Movie gets a really boring and long intro, and it gets old after the first verse. It gets really boring. Round and Round is pointless. Oh God, A New Machine. What was he thinking? You know, it's Gilmour experimenting with new vocal effects that got dated not long after. I mean, come on, this on a Pink Floyd album? Save this for your fucking solo albums, man. I mean, then you get Terminal Frost, which is pretty much elevator music and stuff you'd hear at grocery store or whatever. Complete bore fest. I can't stomach it in one sitting. New Machine Part 2, one part wasn't enough. And Sorrow, which is, God, the worst epic ever. I mean, dude, that's just bad. It's just terrible for an epic. It's just very bad. I can't stand it. That horribly produced guitar intro, it sounds really bad. The sweet smell of sorrow lies over the land, or however the fuck it went. Very bad. This is one of the only albums by my favorite band I can say I hate. I hate it. I despise this album. It's garbage. It's the shit stain of the Pink Floyd catalog. It really is a shit stain, and I can't believe I'm touching it. I just washed my hands too. Well, did I? I just took a shower, and I'll probably need to take one after this. It's a load of garbage. I don't even want it. Well, I think I'm gonna have an older copy somewhere I can throw. Yep, I have 2 copies of this garbage. Like, it's back here, isn't it? Sorry guys, where the fuck did it go? I'm just gonna rethrow this one. So, yeah, this album, a complete shit stain. Don't even want it. I don't even keep it with my Pink Floyd CDs because it pisses me off every time I see Pink Floyd, a momentary lapse. It's David Gilmour, okay? Momentary lapse of crap. Momentary lapse of bullshit. And then you get Delicate Sound of Shit, I mean Thunder. I really have no use for this album at all. I don't even have it yet. I have no use for it, really. I mean, why do I want to hear crappy 80s renditions of my like, who wants to hear One of These Days without Roger Waters? I mean, I don't. I mean, that album was for people that went to the shows and want it for nostalgia reasons. I really have no use for it. I don't think I've even listened to the whole thing the whole way through. And I don't think it's essential at all. I mean, I already had to sit through that shitfest Momentary Lapse of Reason. Why would I want to hear the whole thing live? I mean, oh yeah, by the way, Momentary Lapse of Reason, I'll give it 1 star. Same thing with Delicate Sound of Crap. Then, a few years later, you got The Division Bell, which is way better, way better than A Momentary Lapse of Reason. Oh, and by the way, there's a whole Final Cut versus Momentary Lapse thing. There's no contest. The Final Cut blows it out of the... It blows it to hell and back. It blows it to the other universe and back. It's that much better. But this too, I mean, this is way better. It's not perfect. There's some iffy songs on it. Cluster 1's a nice opener. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Skip. Poles Apart. I really like Poles Apart. Marooned is cool. Great Day for Freedom's okay. I really like Wearing the Inside Out. Might be my favorite song on it. Take It Back. Her love rains down on me, easy as the breeze. I listen to her breathing. Nah. Can do without that. Coming Back to Life is okay. Keep Talking's okay. Lost for Words, take it or leave it. I like the acoustic guitar playing in it. High Hopes, of course, is a good song. But there is a million other people besides the 3 remaining members on it, so there's a lot of outside people. I mean, it feels more like a Pink Floyd album than the last Abomination did. Yeah, a lot of the songs are just okay, I think, and there's a couple duds on it. But there's some really good stuff in here too. I have to give him credit. You know, this is better than any of Gilmour's solo albums. I really don't care much for Gilmour's solo albums. I just like some of the songs. Now Roger Waters and Syd Barrett make the good stuff, and some of Richard Wright's stuff. Nick Mason, but you get my point. This would get probably a 3.5 if I was being nice, maybe a 4. You get the picture. Then you get Pulse, which I really don't care for. Same thing, same reason as I don't really care for Delicate Sound of Thunder, but I think I'd still rather listen to Pulse because it has better songs on it, and you know, it's not filled with momentary lapse of shit songs. Yeah, I just can't stand momentary lapse of shit. you know, I've only listened to that album twice in its entirety, not even on my own will. And when I tried listening to it by myself, I'm just like, why am I listening to this crap? I can be listening to, like, I don't know, this or something. I mean, I've got no time for it. Then you get Endless River. People don't see it for what it is. It's a nice you know, it's a nice thing to listen to, you know, background music. It's a tribute to Richard Wright. You know, nothing really not much to say about it. It's inoffensive. But there is one thing that annoys the hell out of me. David Gilmour's wife goes and writes the last Pink Floyd song. I don't know, that kind of bugs me a bit. Because imagine you're Syd Barrett. You start a band of your own, you write all the songs, you sing all the songs, you play guitar. Then your bandmates vote you out of the band and get a new guy who becomes way more popular than you. And when your old pal Roger leaves the band, this new guy that replaced you takes over the band, releases a sorry piece of shit, which is Momentary Lapse of Reason, and the Division Bell, and now this, and the new guy's wife writes the lyrics to your band's last song. That's just kind of fucked up. I don't know. I just really like Syd Barrett, and Syd would have a cow, probably. But it's you know, it's an okay song. Probably no need for We Bitch and We Fight. Probably no need for that part, but you know me, I'm never satisfied, really. I mean, it seems like a David Gilmour solo project with, or Gilmour, Wright, Mason. It's not really Pink Floyd. It's my problem. I mean, Polly Sampson, David Gilmour's wife, wrote some of the lyrics on the Division Bell, which is fine, but their last statement ever, it just, I don't know, doesn't jive with me. You might think I'm bothered by it a little too much, but I don't know, it's just the way I see it. I mean, if I was Syd, I would have a cow. That's, you know, I would come back from the dead and make my own solo album and call it Pink Floyd. If I was Syd, it'd be better than Momentary Lapse of Reason. But anyway, that's my Pink Floyd primer. Yeah, I just wanted to redo this video. Thanks for watching this. See you on the next one. See you guys later.